Okay. I see. I thought you were gonna try and do something because of the sound you made before I hit the record button. So I was like, I'm gonna give it the brevity, like just give him the room to do something, to freak his stuff.
Give me my,
anyways,
my creative space.
yeah. Howdy, folks. Welcome back to another week of Deck Check. This week we got a couple of familiar faces, I would say, but decks that we want to highlight that we think can still do well into this format. There's a lot of Jess, Hootie, and Royal Knights, and a fair bit of Gallant. I feel like running around everywhere. Emphasis on the Hootie. There's a lot of Hootie. But we picked out some lists that we think that are still pretty solid decks that can perform pretty well in the right circumstances and the right stroke of luck. But before we jump into that, just want to say a quick shout out to all our members for supporting us. We appreciate you very, very much. You are beautiful people. We love y'all. And to anyone who watches this video when it goes public, thank you for checking out the channel. Hopefully you guys enjoy this content. If you're new here, if you're not new here and you're just an old head checking out the stuff, thank you for watching. But if you are new, or you're someone who watches our videos and is not subscribed, you should subscribe. Stick around. Have a good time. Hit the notification bell. Check out our other videos. If you're interested in Gundam, we got Gundam stuff. If you're just a Digihead, that's fine too. We got plenty of Digimon stuff. There's loads out there. And if you enjoy the video, give it a like, because it tells YouTube that we're doing good things, and it helps out with the algorithm. So I think that's enough. Little sort of precursor stuff. Let's go ahead and start. Yep, yappers. Let's go ahead and jump over the list. So first list we got for you guys is going to be Beelze. This was run by Ito Hasu over in JP. Was a area qualifier, got second place. Was hosted by Bandai, so I don't know how many. So is this like their regional? Was it like a store regional in Japan, basically?
I think so, if I'm not mistaken, yeah.
Which is pretty crazy. I mean, Beelze getting second place at a store regional in Japan is pretty sick. That's pretty awesome. Looking over the list, it's a lot of what we've seen from Beelze, right? The new EX10 Impmon is just an insane card, being able to pop a level 4 or lower. It's very good against Hootie,
right, in
that sense, being able to clear Hootie cards just off getting milled. Especially if you want an EX2 Imp, you have your Imp X's. No ST Imp at all, that's kind of crazy to me, because I feel like he's such a good late game win piece. But I can understand the sentiment, because I don't think we're running X anybody in this list. No, we're not. Yeah. So we are a lot of Beelzemon decks have strayed away from the old okay, you get your opponent down to that 1 or 2 security, do the whole thing, and then you push up an ST Imp, swing warp into Beelze, X anybody, Evo into Beelze X, and just go for game. We've definitely strayed away from that. And now I feel like Beelze has kind of in a way become more toolbox control that kind of just chips away. Occasionally can just still be very explosive, of course, because you just have the cards for it. But I feel like that's kind of where it's inched its way towards,
sure,
which I think is cool. I like that. We see a couple other new cards here too, along with the EX10 Wizardmon, is a very good card where when he's trashed from the deck or security stack, which is very unique in itself, you give sec -1 to something until the turn ends, which is pretty solid. It's pretty good. It's interesting how they worded this too, until their turn ends. So it's basically until the end of your opponent's next turn. So it's neat how they kind of just tried to streamline the wording on there.
Yeah.
We see the new Ballmon as well, who's a very good card. Being able to get access to Reboot and Blocker, along with a bit of a DP boost, is really good for Beelze. Definitely helps them out a lot, and still does this whole trashing top 3, and has the undeletion effect of being able to spit out a Beelzemon if you're deleted and you have 10 more cards in trash. Which, when we have the Rush Beelzemon from EX6, is very, very powerful, especially with that Digivolve 2 that he has access to. Beelze Ace is, I'm not going to go over it. I think we've talked about this card a good amount of times, not because we've gone over Beelzemon a couple of times, but this card's just insane tempo for the deck. It's so good. It is unfortunately, an Ace card, so it's very punishable, but it's one of those few Ace cards that it feels like it has enough impact on a game that the punishment doesn't feel as bad as other Ace cards. It can have enough of a hit to the board potential to make it feel really good. And then other typical top end, right? We have our Beelze X. Rune Mode's actually a pretty unique choice for just sort of stalling out the game, because we are kind of doing more of a mid-range kind of control strategy. We're not just complete OTK high roll. You still want a high roll, obviously. You're still a gamble deck, but it helps being able to kind of lock your opponent out of the game if you can't close it. And then having Blast Mode access for that finisher is always really good. One Ayamako from ST14 just for that sort of ability to set up your deck. People typically only run like 1 or 2 tamers now in BLs because they just basically make room for the for memory for options like we see here, right? We have 3 boosts, 4 trainings, 1 scramble, 2 Ravel's Barrage, 3 Death Slingers, and 1 Falling. So just run the whole kind of full array of purple options there. But Ayamako, like, you really only need the one typically to just set up the top card of your deck sometimes. You don't always need it all the time. I personally run a little bit more because I just want to see them more because I think they can be helpful for if you're getting choked a lot. And they're also just another search, right? But, when there's cards like Vaidmon that run around, like, there's also plenty of merit to not running too many tamers right now. I feel like tamers are kind of in a weird spot unless you're like playing something like Hootie. Where who just spits out tamers like it's free. Well, it is free, but you know what I mean. But yeah, that's the BLs list. It's pretty cool to see. It's cool to see BLs doing stuff. I've recently been playing a bit more BLs myself, and it's fun. I missed playing the deck, and it feels like the deck's at like an okay spot right now after EX10, which is really good. So hopefully we see some more from it in the future. Go ahead and jump on to the next list.
I agree. Next list was Examon, piloted by Pillows over at a store regional hosted by DXN Provisions. Got top 3, so congratulations there. Really, really cool to see Exa do well. And honestly, all things aside, this is a pretty standard Exa list. I don't think this is anything like terribly, terribly spicy, which is also really neat. Like, I'm not trying to take away from the list. It's like the fact that you can kind of build a core Exa list and have it do well, I think it's really cool. I think the one maybe like spicy tech choice that we see here, it's this Gotsumon as a one of. Obviously a like very good floodgate for anything that wants to play out the effects, such as Hootie, Jessmon, basically all the top decks in the meta right now.
Yeah.
But we have seen the floodgates sort of take a little bit of a backseat of late, mainly because, as we talked about in videos past, Hootie has a lot of tools to deal with it, as does Jess, honestly. So, I think a well-timed one still can be very, very
Impactful.
Game-changing. Yeah, impactful is a better word for it. But otherwise, I mean, it's really cool to see, your core pieces of the like Draco line. You've got your BT20 pieces with the Core Dramon and the Wing Dramon Ground Dramon combo. You're running one split of the Wing Dramon Ground Drift from EX3, which I think is pretty standard amongst the rest of the XLs, just as like another DNA target. The fact that end of turn you can DNA without basically have that end of turn DNA inherit as a card, I think it's nice because you really just still rely on the Draco X to be able to kind of do an end of turn shenanigan. Yeah. A lot of times you just kind of either have to pay the full cost and pass over a decent amount of memory, or kind of rely on your bodies sticking out on the field and having an Unleash the Dragon gene available, which in and of itself is pretty it's a very specific requirement to have both pieces on the field to be able to do that. So those 2 pieces are, I think, a nice addition, and I think a lot of lists are running it. As we've seen with other lists too, we're not running any level 6s. We're going straight to level 7s. So again, just relying on your level 5 pieces to go up into our big bodies. As we've seen with other lists too over in JP, you're running 4 of the new BT23 Examon, which is just a really good card. Piercing, check +1, partition, being able to lock down Digimon is always a good sort of stave off until your next kill turn sort of play, right? Yeah. And being able to interact with option cards as well is very, very good. And then X as just a finisher at the end is, again, really nice. And you run your consistency pieces with Davis, Wisteria, and Dragon Gene, as I mentioned, and then Crimson Blaze, which honestly is probably one of the goated option cards in this format, with Hootie, Jess, Royal Knights, yada yada running around. So really cool to see. Really cool to see kind of just a standard old XLS do well.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Crimson Blaze is definitely one of those options that's just never gonna go away. It's so strong.
Nope.
So good. Very good. Whenever there's a wide board meta, it just becomes viable again. Yeah. Congrats to you, Pillows. Go with it.
Yep.
All right. Jump on to the next one. Bagra Army, run by Rajika over in JP. Another area qualifier that's got first place, actually. over in Hyogo. Excuse me, like a devil's butt. Oh my god, I'm sorry.
Oh my.
There it is. There it is. That feels better. Um, I'm so sorry. Anyways, Bagra Army, woohoo! So Bagra honestly has become kind of like it's a deck you have to be careful of. Like it's a bit of a, I think it's a sleeper in the meta. Like in terms of like people sleeping on it. Like we've seen Steven do well at our locals with it. The brand new cards that we have for our top end, right, with the new Blastmon, the new Bagramon, the new or Lilithmon for EX10. New Lilith. Are all pretty solid cards. They're really, really good. The new Darkness Bagger from EX10 is honestly a really solid card. Being able to get all of the all turn effects on all level 6 cards in his sources is insane. It's really, really good because you have some very powerful all turns effects from the other level 6s that I just listed. And then on top of that too, the new Uamano and Nene Amano just giving you a means of just cycle is really, really nice, and setting up your setting up the tamer. And then being able to just have another target that can help tuck cards from your trash and from under your tamers is just really, really good. It's there was kind of like the thing that we've talked about before with Bagra. I feel like is that Bagra just needed more tamers to kind of enable its Digicross kind of gameplay, right? And now that we're seeing more of those tamers, we're actually getting to a point where Bagra can kind of do what it wants to do. And a lot of the newer pieces are powerful enough to have an impact on the game and do some cool stuff. It's cool to see the Shopmon King version just randomly in here as well.
Makes sense, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, being able to spit out, Uamanos, it's really, really good because then you can spit out all your tamers really well. And you have your Tagirus in here as well, just for a little bit of extra kind of memory gain and cycle. Tagiru from B21 is an insane card.
It's just so good.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just cool to see Bagra doing stuff. I hope it's one of those purple decks that, like, I'm glad that it's doing something, because it was kind of just a dead deck on arrival, and it's supposed to be like, this very powerful villain, and it just felt super underwhelming. And so now that the deck finally has a chance to kind of really play the game it wanted to, especially considering how like volatile the meta can be right now, and it can still perform, just kind of goes to show how strong these cards are, right? Like,
right.
It's cool to see. So, congrats to you again, Rajika, and Bagra doing cool things. Bagra looking neat. Jumping on to the last list. Bit of an old flame for both of us.
Yes. But this is MagnaX. This was piloted by Guisa over in Europe. Got first place at a store regional hosted by TCG Mansion. Went 8-1, so very impressive run there. So congratulations to you. And yes, I mean, I think this list was shown to us, or you might have shown this list to us, I think, after the regional, right? And Mike and I both had that little twinkle in our eyes, and then you also shared that same sentiment. And the more I look at it, the more I'm like, damn it, I guess we're going back again.
Double dipping.
And also, the more I think about it, and you mentioned it too, to kind of bounce off of your train of thought there, is like, MagnaX honestly has a pretty decent matchup into the meta, against Hootie, for example. Like, you're just immune. You don't really care about their DP reduction shenanigans. You just kind of sit there. You're a big blocker as well, so that can also really kind of falter their game plan if you can get big enough. Which most of the time with your DP reduction immunity, you will be bigger than what they can swing into. So you definitely do slow them down a little bit.
Yeah.
I think it's just a matter of, can you climb into MagnaX reliably and still outpace them? Because the tricky part is, it's still MagnaX, right? Like, you're still just a big guy who will probably just beat down once or twice in security, depending on your situation. So if they can still out-tempo you or build a wide board, you still kind of fold to that to some degree. But the fact that you can still keep your big body on the board, I think is huge, actually. And I think it's something that maybe we'll see a resurgence depending on how things go. Because it kind of is Old Faithful for a lot of us, like, blue players, where it's sort of like we're missing a good old blue deck to play, and MagnaX is just sitting there being like, remember me?
It's about as close as you can get right now to playing like blue.
It's as close as you can get, and it's probably the most viable blue deck that's out there that can still have some hands in the meta.
Yeah.
It's really not too much of an updated list, not to stray away from the list itself. I mean, I think this is a pretty standard VMon list. You do have one of the Searcher BT12 VMons, which I think some people kind of spliced that, and the BT 16 VMon. We see the addition of the new BT23 Magnamon, which is good. I'm between that and the BT8 one still. Like, I don't know which one I want more. But the ability to kind of stay on the field and prevent bounce and return to hand or deck, I think is pretty good regardless.
Yeah. It also being a draw one is huge too. Like it's just an extra cycle for.
Right. And then the Mega Seadramon X really there for its inheritable. And on Evo being able to bounce to level 4 is also pretty solid going into a lot of these whiteboard metas. And here's where things do get a little bit spicy. I like the addition of Death X and Medieval Gallant. This definitely like also perked my interest with this list because it had that sort of
toolbox mid-range control.
Yeah.
So that answers. Yeah, I know how you are.
You
I mean, it makes sense, right? We're in a wideboard meta.
It does make sense, yeah.
Having Death X and Medieval Gallant just does a lot.
Yeah, and then, you still run Paladin, Just GX, and OmniX, which are still, really, really good top-end cards for Magna and help you just go for game at the late stage of things. 3 Davis is, again, just there for consistency, making sure you're set at 3, and then you run your slew of options here, right? Trainings, you've got Island and Genais for additional, like, DP boost, Tamer play, whatever it may be. You got Blinding Ray, Zubagon, Awakening, Ex-Ante, Ice Wall. Again, sort of a toolbox arsenal of different option cards that you can choose from.
Yeah.
And you got Wisteria and Scramble, which again just help with consistency and getting into your Magna X. I think the options are probably the most customizable for a lot of Magna players. I think we see some people go along this sort of line of like a bunch of one-ofs. Some people do more Zubagons. Some people do bunch of different things. Like some people I think will run like Heavens as well, which may have some merit in this meta too, being able to just like distribute and bomb on the board. Yeah, could have some merit as well. So a lot of different options. It's really cool to see Magna do well again. I will probably climb back on the train because I'm a lost soul doing some soul searching as always. It's probably the flavor of the week before you see something else kind of cool pop up next week and be like, ooh,
yeah,
me likey. But it's cool. I do like it. And I do feel like there's definitely some viability to Magna X moving forward. So it's cool to see. Congratulations to you, sir.
Yeah, fully agree. Yeah, I think Magna X is going to be one of those decks, kind of like Levia, where it ends up being good based more on the format than anything else, right? Like, if it gets waves of support or, like, other cards it can use, it'll take them in. It'll do stuff. But, like, the top-end cards still probably going to stay the same. And until that changes, the deck is really just going to be more reliant on where the meta's at more than where the deck itself is at.
Sure.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But, yeah. It's cool. It's really, really cool. I still have my MagnaX list together, so I might update it and kind of take a look at this and inspiration for stuff as well.
Yeah, I just logged into TCG Player, looked at MagnaX Altar, so I'm like, well, never mind. That dream's dead.
I got all my gold ones coming from PB21 when that drops.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Never mind.
I have my 4 gold ones coming in. I'm ready.
We're gonna be blinged the F out.
I'm ready. It's gonna be that deck's gonna be gross and how much money it probably is. How much money I spent. Oh, it hurts. Anyways, but yeah, that's all the decks we have for you guys this week. Thank you guys so much for watching and for hanging out with us. Hopefully this gives you a little bit of an insight as to what are some other decks, right, that like maybe you're not seeing as much of, but they're still all decks that have plenty of viable matchups into the meta and can do well. It's just about people just, wanting to play them and just like taking the time to kind of grind them out, learn the matchups, learn what your deck can and can't do, tech against certain things in the format, right? And just kind of go from there.
I agree.
Overall, it's cool to see. As a reminder, if you are watching this video and you're not subscribed and you watched it all the way through, subscribe now. Do it now. You just finished watching the video or you're at the end of it, so go ahead and hit the subscribe button. You stuck around for a reason, so you might as well do it. Why not? It don't hurt nothing.
You got a point.
God bless. You're damn right. I got a point. Would you take that deal, Ben?
Yep.
You take that deal. That's a good deal. Anyways, So we're gonna stop there before I keep ranting and my head's getting all fuzzy. So thank you guys again for watching, and I'll let Ben say the line.
And hopefully we catch you on that flippy flip. Bye bye.
Bye.